Hello guys, today I'm going to show you how to configure VLANs using 4 network devices. As you can see, we got 2 manageable switches. The first one is a Cisco and the second one is an Aruba. If you look at the top of this topology, we got a Sophos XG that is a firewall. And over here we got an access point. And it's a device that we use to transmit Wi-Fi signal. Okay, on this first part we are going to create our VLANs on this Sophos XG Firewall. Here we got a list of the VLANs that we are going to create. Remember that every VLAN needs to have an unique ID. The first VLAN is the management VLAN, so it's a VLAN that is created by default, so we don't need to create it. The second one will be the workstation VLAN, and it has the 100 ID. Also, you can see the network address in this list. So we are going to create the workstation VLAN, the server VLAN, the employee Wi-Fi VLAN, and the guest Wi-Fi VLAN. So the first part is easy. We are going to log in on our Sophos XG Firewall. And now, in order to create a new VLAN, we need to go to Configure and go to Network. Then we are going to add a new VLAN. I am going to create all the VLANs on the port 1. So let's fill out this. Name of the VLAN will be workstations. The interface will be the port 1. The zone in this case will be the LAN, but you can create a new zone if you want. The VLAN ID is going to be 100 and the IPv4 gateway will be this. Remember that I am filling out these fields according to this list. So our gateway will be the last IP of this network address. You can use whatever IP you want as far it is on this subnet. And now we can save. Okay, if I go to the VLAN part, here will appear the new recently created workstation VLAN. So now I am going to create the rest of the VLANs, and done. I created all of them. Now let's go to the second part. We are going to configure the switch of Cisco. Now, in order to create a new VLAN on this device, let's go to the VLAN management and create VLAN. Let's click on the add button and write the workstation VLAN. And you can see that the workstation VLAN has been created. Let's go to create the rest of them. And done. I created the VLANs. Don't forget to save the new configuration. Apply. So let's go back to our topology. As you can see on this port, the 23 port is the port that connects to the Sophos XG. This port is special because we need to configure as tag. If we don't tag this port with the 100, 150, 200 and 220, all our VLAN packets won't be able to reach this switch. And it's the same for the next switch. If we don't tag this port and this port, all the VLAN packets won't reach the next switch. This port and this port and this port is what we know as a trunk port. And also look at this. This is a server and it's connected to the 21 port. So I'm going to configure this port as untag of the server VLAN. And as you can see, from 2 to 20, the ports are configured as untag of the workstation VLAN. So you have to think in this way. If you are going to connect a device, an endpoint, to a switch, the port where you connect that device needs to be configured as untag. And if you need a port to move packets from different VLANs, you need to configure it as tag using the VLANs that will pass from that port. But also check this. We got an access point that transmits the employee Wi-Fi and the guest Wi-Fi. So this access point is going to transmit two SSIDs. So if we want this to work, this port needs to be configured as tag using the VLAN 200 and 220. So with this set, let's configure our ports. As we want the port 21 to be part of the server VLAN, let's configure this first. So let's go back to our switch and go to VLAN management, then go to port to VLAN, and here select the 150 VLAN, then click on go. And now search for the 21 port, and as you can see, it's here. And now we need to configure it as untag. So click on untag and we can apply. Done. And we said that the ports from 2 to 20 are going to belong to the 100 VLAN. So click on the 100 and then click on go. And let's untag these ports. And now we can apply it. Now let's configure the 23 port. We need to tag this port using these VLANs. So go to the 23 port and configure it as tag. Apply. Now go to 150, then go. Look for the 23 port and configure it as tag. And apply. Now select 200, then click on go. Look for the 23 port and configure it as tag. Apply. 220, go. 23 and tag. Apply. Okay. And now let's configure our last port, the 24th. This port is the port that we are going to use to connect the Aruba switch. So let's go back to 100, then go. Look for the 24th and tag. Next, 24, tag, apply. Next, go 24 tag applied. Next, go 24 and tag. And tag. Sorry if my English is not too well. Sorry if I went too fast, but if we go to 150, we need to configure the 24 as tag, not and tag. Now we can apply. Now we can save the changes, apply, and OK. Yes, we are going to use the same logic but using our Aruba switch. So let's create our VLANs and go to interfaces, VLANs, and aquí click on the plus button. ID is going to be 100. The name of the VLAN will be workstation. Save. Sorry. Save. And it's done. So now let's configure our 25 port as we configure the 24 port on the Cisco switch. Let's go back to our switch, Aruba switch, select the 100 VLAN, click on this pencil, select tag, and click on the 25 port. Then click here and save. Now select the 150 VLAN, click here, select target, click on the 25 port and save. Go to 200, edit, tag, 25, save, and the last one is going to be the 220, edit, tag, 25, and save. Done. It's the same logic but it's in other interface. Now let's configure the 21 port. We need to configure this as tag using the 100 and 120 VLAN. So let's go back to our switch Aruba and select 200 and click on this pencil, select tag and mark and select the 21 port. Now select 220, edit, 21 and save. No, sorry, and tag, no and tag, and let's check this again and save. Done. Now let's configure the ports from 2 to 20 that belongs to the it is a mistake, this is a 100. Okay, the ports from 2 to 20 belongs to the workstation VLAN. So let's go back to our Aruba switch, select the 100 VLAN, click here, select untag, and let's click. And now save. Yes. I forgot this server. I'm going to use the 22 port and configure it as untag 150. So let's go back to our switch, click on servers, edit VLAN, untag 22, and save. Yes. How we test this lab? I'm going to install a DHCP server on this Sophos XG. If all our ports are well configured, they will receive an IP from the DHCP server. So let's go back to our Sophos XG and let's configure our DHCP server. In order to do that, go to Network and then go to DHCP. Add a new DHCP server. We need to select our VLAN interface workstations and add a new pool. The domain name will be whatever we want. I will add this IP as a secondary DNS server, and we can save. I'm going to do the same with the rest of the VLANs, and this is what I have done: add DHCP server per VLAN. Now I am going to connect my PC to the 21 port and I will receive an IP from this pool, from the server pool. Okay, if I open this command prompt and input this command, let's see what IP I got. And you can see that I received the first IP from the server IP pool. Now I'm going to plug out the cable from the 21 port and I will connect it to the, for example, 2 port. Okay, I did it. Let's clear the screen and type ipconfig and look the IP that I received. It's the first IP from the workstation pool. That means that the configuration on this switch is okay. Now let's go to the next switch. I'm going to connect my PC to the 22 port. I'm going to clean this screen, ipconfig, and I got an IP from the server pool. Now I'm going to show you my firewall and my switches, but physically. This is how I connect my devices, and this is from this topology. This is my Sophos XG, this is my Aruba switch, and this is my Cisco switch. Networking can be a little challenging when you start, but I hope you have learned a little watching this video. Sorry if my English is not so good, but it's not my first language. But I hope also that you have enjoyed from this video.